Hello, faith leaders, and welcome to Breaktime. Today, Psalm 23 says, "May he remember all your sacrifices and accept your burnt offerings." You know, David's now talking to the people he was surrounded by. And he's asking and encouraging them to know that God is going to remember what they brought to him. And you know, if we turn really quickly in the New Testament, in Romans 12:1, it says, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies now as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God, because this is your true and proper worship." And so, you know, in the Old Testament, we had them bringing sacrifices, but in the New Testament, we have ourselves as a living sacrifice. We dedicate ourselves to the Lord, which means He now is who we live for. He now is who we give ourselves to. And you know what's really cool about this is some people will look at that and think, "Oh man, I don't want anything to do with that. I want to own me. I don't want anybody else telling me what to do. I don't want to belong to anybody else. I don't want to give myself to anybody else," are some of the loneliest people I have ever met. People who can't find in them to give are some of the people that you find are in some very desperate places because they're lonely. It's in giving that we find truly how God has made us to be. It's in sacrificing ourselves to God is where we find who we truly are. You know, when we try to keep ourselves for ourselves and live for ourselves is when we feel this emptiness, this almost despairing. This almost places, what is all this about? What is life about? But when we find ourselves living as living sacrifices to God is when we find ourselves. We find the mercy there. We find grace there. We find what we were truly meant and created to be. I like this statement. When we offer ourselves is when we find everything we were lacking. When we offer ourselves is when we find what we were truly lacking. Man, I'm saying this to you, but I'm also saying this, man, to me, because there are many things we can sacrifice our life for, our jobs, our careers, you know, our family, you know, all kinds of things. But unless we're first giving and sacrificing ourselves to God, we find these things depleting, you know, but when we find ourselves giving to God first, we find it fulfilling. Try it. I mean, do that flip where you think, you don't know, Sabra, how much I'm sacrificing for my job. Yeah, I probably do a little bit. But when we're sacrificing to God first, it's not depleting. It's fulfilling. So make sure the first is in place, the all, not the first, but the all, you know, giving it all to Him. And you, my blessed friend, have a very fulfilling day. Keep offering yourself